Welcome to The Explainer. So today, we're going to unpack something kind of weird in the crypto world. You've got this market in an absolute freefall, right? But at the exact same time, you have these super high-level meetings happening that could literally define its future. How does that work?
All right, so let's really get into this. Because on the surface, if you just look at the numbers for Ripple's XRP token, it looks like total panic. But behind the curtain, a completely different story is playing out. It's really this tale of two separate realities, and you've got to understand both to get a real picture of where crypto is going.
So here's how we'll tackle this. First, we'll look at the market chaos. Then we're going to pivot to the holes of power in Davos. After that, we'll dive into the big debate at the heart of crypto, see how the future is actually being built, and then wrap up with the one big question all of this points to.
Okay, first up, the market turmoil. Let's start with what was happening on the ground. You know, the story that traders were actually living through. This is the reality you could see right there on the charts, and, well, it wasn't pretty.
So that first reality, it's all about fear. XRP saw this massive liquidation of leveraged positions, and its price just tanked, crashing below that really key psychological level of $2. For a lot of people in the market, this was a straight-up, pure panic moment.
And here's the thing you got to remember. This stuff isn't just numbers on a screen, right? It's a total breakdown in confidence among everyday traders. It just goes to show you that in the short term, price is so often driven by fear and emotion, not always the deep fundamentals of the project.
But while all that panic was happening in the market, Ripple's top people were having a totally different conversation, a conversation that was happening thousands of miles away from any trading screen.
And this is where that contrast just smacks you in the face. On one hand, you've got retail traders selling off in a panic. On the other, you have Ripple in Davos talking crypto policy with the most powerful financial players on the planet. I mean, we're talking about BlackRock, central bankers, global economic leaders, the whole shebang.
Look, this isn't just about showing up and shaking hands. This is about actively shaping the global financial conversation. Ripple is trying to move crypto's image from just some volatile, speculative token to a legitimate, integrated piece of the future economy. It's the long game, a real play for legitimacy.
So all of this, it really brings a huge conflict inside the crypto world into sharp focus. Because let's be real, not everyone agrees on which way to go from here.
So on one side, you've got Ripple's whole approach. Let's work with the institutions. Let's talk to regulators. Let's find our place inside the current system. But then, on the other side, you've got the vision of someone like Charles Hoskinson, Cardano's founder. His view is totally different. It's all about a more independent, decentralized path that doesn't compromise with those traditional power structures.
And this is way more than just a technical squabble. It's a philosophical battle for the soul of crypto. What should it even be? Should it be a tool to reform the system we have now from the inside? Or should it be a force to build something brand new, completely outside of it?
Okay, so let's move beyond the big debates and the crazy price swings for a second. What actual concrete steps are being taken to build for the long haul? I mean, how does a project like Ripple even plan to survive all this volatility?
Well, a lot of experts are pointing to XRP as a really key asset to watch for 2026. And it's not because of any short-term hype. It's because of this really clear three-part strategy they have that's all about real-world use. Get in the room where policy is made, partner up with the big institutions, and become a part of the actual financial plumbing.
And we're already seeing this play out right now. Take a look at Binance, one of the biggest exchanges in the world, adding support for Ripple's stablecoin, RLUSD. These aren't just flashy headlines. This is about building the actual roads and bridges for a new financial system. It's about creating real utility that goes way beyond just trading and speculation.
All right, so let's tie this all together. What's the big takeaway from this whole tale of two realities? What does it all mean?
Here's the bottom line. The panic traders, the fancy meetings in Davos, the deep philosophical debates, all of it points to one thing. Crypto has grown up. It's evolved beyond just being a simple speculative asset. The game now is all about legitimacy, regulation, and what you can actually do with it in the real world.
And that leaves us with the million-dollar question, doesn't it? Which model is going to win? Will crypto's future be one of institutional integration, the path Ripple is paving? Or will it be one of decentralized sovereignty, the one that others are fighting for? The answer to that question, well, it's going to define not just the price, but the very soul of crypto for decades to come. And that is the story you need to watch.